Pickled shrimp is a classic southern dish, and this is my sister Judy's recipe that she makes for tailgating parties on the weekends at Ole Miss. It makes a wonderful dish for picnic or for a nice salad in the summertime. It's fabulous because it can be made the day ahead of time, so you can just take it out and serve it. You know, it's a great thing to make for company because you can make it ahead of time. I'm cooking the shrimp in a large pot of boiling water seasoned with basically pickling spices. If you have pickling spices, you can use it for this, but I just kind of like to make my own. I take about 4 or 5 bay leaves and crush them, and all this can go right into the pot. About a tablespoon and a half of black peppercorns, whole peppercorns, about a half of teaspoon of mustard seed, about a half of teaspoon of crushed red pepper, and about a half a teaspoon of whole cloves. And then you're going to take a lemon and cut it in half and just squeeze the juice and put the lemon right into the boiling water. And then you want to let it come back to a rolling boil, and we're going to add the shrimp. And they go right into the water. You want to make sure you use a pot large enough that your shrimp are not going to be cramped and they're going to be cooked evenly. You just give the shrimp a quick stir so they move around. And they're going to cook for about 2 to 2.5 minutes, just until they turn a nice bright pink color and the flesh is nice and firm. You can tell when the shrimp are ready because they start floating to the top of the water. And they turn that nice orange pink color, and you just want to quickly drain them and rinse them with cool water until they're completely cool, and that will help stop the cooking process. I can smell all those wonderful cloves and bay leaves and peppercorns, and the flavor of all that really goes through the shrimp as they're cooking. To devein the shrimp, you want to just cut down the center of the back with a small paring knife, just probably about 1/8 of an inch into the shrimp, and open the shrimp up and then just pull that little vein out. It's good to do this under running water because you can it helps the vein come out easily. After the shrimp have been cooked and peeled, we are going to make the marinade to marinate the shrimp in. And you're going to start with juice of 2 limes. This is a wonderful little juicer. It works well for both lemons and limes. You just slice the lime or lemon in half and put it in and just press the handles together. And it just really juices very well. You can see it gets every little bit of juice out. So it's the juice of 2 limes. Now you could use a lime or a lemon. You could use a little bit of orange juice if you wanted, but I like the flavor of the lime juice and the shrimp together. About a 1/4 cup of olive oil, and you want to use a really good flavor olive oil, like an extra virgin, because this is going to flavor your shrimp. About 3 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar, and you could use a white wine vinegar, or I like to use light vinegar so it doesn't color the shrimp too much. And about 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now the sugar sounds kind of odd in this, but it's just enough sugar to give it like a nice little pickling flavor without it being too sweet. And just stir all that together until your sugar dissolves. And you're going to use about 8 basil leaves. And you want to just take those and give them a nice thin slice. You could use parsley in this. I've used dill before. Dill is really good, or a combination of any. The shrimp have been peeled and deveined, and I like to leave the tails on the shrimp, especially if you're using it for a picnic, because that way people have something to pick it up with. And I just put the shrimp right in the marinade along with all the spices that they cooked in, the pickling spices, because it gives it a lot of really wonderful extra flavor. And season it with a little bit of sea salt and freshly ground black pepper. And then you're just going to toss the shrimp to coat it And you're gonna let this sit overnight. Yeah, you could eat it right now, but it really is gonna be much more flavorful and have much more of the pickling flavor after it sits overnight. So you wanna just let this, wrap it and refrigerate it and put it right in the refrigerator. I've let the pickled shrimp marinate overnight, and I'm gonna show you my addition to my sister's version of pickled shrimp. Right before serving, I like to add a little bit of Kirby cucumbers and a little bit of mixed greens. And I just take a vegetable peeler and kind of stripe the peeling on the cucumbers. And I have this wonderful little microplane slicer that works really well. I'm going to show you how to slice the cucumbers really thinly. And this is the pickle version of the pickled shrimp. And I like to, in addition to the cucumber, sometimes I'll add a little cornichon or little small pickles as well. These slicers are really sharp, so just make sure you don't go all the way to the end of the cucumber. It's not worth risking your fingertips for. And this is just kind of to taste, you know, depending on how many cucumbers you want to add. And then I just toss the cucumbers, and I usually will season it with a little additional salt and pepper. Just taste before you season it. It usually needs that just to give it a little perk up after sitting overnight. And I like to serve this on a bed of peppery greens like watercress. Sometimes I use these wonderful little microgreens. They make it look really pretty. And you can just toss those right in with the shrimp. And we're going to save a few to put on top, and pour the marinade and the shrimp right on your bed of greens. And this just makes a wonderful summer or spring salad. It's great to take on picnics. My sister uses it for tailgating parties. And we're going to just put a little of the microgreens on top, and you can see how beautiful that looks.